Hello, welcome back, or welcome aboard if you are new here. Today we are going to be diving back into SimplePlanes 2 with something that should be interesting. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. And this actually comes from a suggestion in the comments where someone asked if I could build a BV-238. If you don't know what that is, I don't blame you. I was aware of it. I didn't know a whole lot about it. It was a massive boat plane that Germany built towards the end of World War II. And at the time, it was the heaviest plane and also the largest plane built during the conflict, I believe. But it was absolutely massive. And I don't know if we're going to be able to make it work. I haven't built any boats in this. And this also being a boat plane, it didn't have any traditional landing gears or anything. So if you wanted to land it, it had to be in water. I'll put a picture up here so you can see kind of what they look like. And then I've also got some specs up for it so we can kind of build. Now, what's going to happen is I am not good enough at modeling to be able to recreate this exactly, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and be faithful to the general shape and the scale. So we're going to try and build it to scale. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get enough power out of 6 prop engines in this game to be able to lift something that big, but we'll give it a shot. So let's go ahead and just jump into build and open up a new one here. All right, so I think what we'll do is we'll build our fuselage in 3 parts. Now, see, the game, actually, let me check the settings because in the game, the measurements, let's just try setting everything to metric for now. Designer flight scenes loaded, okay. That's fine, we'll go ahead and exit back out and go back in. I just want to make sure I get this kind of, the scale stuff right. So, now, if we're going according to scale, this plane was about just over 43 meters long. And I want to do this in 3 parts just to make it easier to shape. So I think what we'll do is we'll see if we can handle building something this big in here, because this is going to be massive, if you can't already tell. Oh, what is that doing? No. We don't want to do that. Alright, so what we will do is we will do 30. Oh man, that's gonna be quite big. And the movement's not working again. Cool. Alright, 30. And then we'll do, let's see, we'll do 5 more in the front. So we'll add a section to the front and make it 5 meters. Then we'll go back to the tail and we'll add another section and make it 8. Okay, so that's going to be about the overall length of this plane. Now, actually, you know what, let's get rid of those. We'll add those later when we've got the rest of the shape right, because we want to get the length and width and stuff down first. So the height was just under 13 meters, which is ridiculously tall, but now it was 12.8. But let's go 12.5 just to make it even. And the width, I believe, was about 4 meters. Let me double check here. Yeah, 3.6 to 4. It does not look very big. Width-wise, that is. No, not height. And now, what did we have that at? 12.5. That does not seem wide enough. Because see, if we take, when things start getting this big, you start losing kind of scale. But that is what a standard wing looks like on something like that. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get this to fly or not. I mean, obviously it's not going to be that boxy. It's going to be shaped, but I mean, it was pretty tall and narrow. Let's go ahead and get these other sections on. We can adjust it later if we need to. So this front one was going to be 8, I believe. Or no, we did 30. That left us with 13. So yeah, so 5. And then 8. Okay, so we've got quite the box here. And of course, this thing just does not want to ever stay attached to it. I don't know why. Kind of frustrating, but whatever. Okay, so there we go. Now, actually, we made that 5. Let's replace this with a nose cone because that'll be a bit easier to shape the way we want it. So we'll just stick that on there. Oh, it did not want to shape itself to that, did it? That's not good. There we go. Oh boy. Shorten that down to 8. And then we'll have to work on some shaping here. I really would like to do this in 2 different pieces. No. And that just does not seem wide enough. But that's what the specs say. They say, 12.8 meters high. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll work with it. Because the tail's also going to have a bit of shape to it as well. Because it kind of goes in and then just cuts up kind of sharply. I don't know if that's going to be long enough. Let's actually take... We'll make this 7. Oh, no. We didn't want that one to be 7. Want that to be 28. And that to be 10. That'll give us a bit more room to work with. Let's see how a cutout would look on this. Actually, we want to round it off some. Give it a bit of trapezium there. Let's see. Corners. We definitely want it pretty round, so we'll go with that for now. Now, what happens if we do a cut on the bottom? Still not quite long enough. About what, 10, 38, 46. So it's already too long. But we're not doing exact, we're just trying to get close. So what if we actually bring this up a bit like so? No, we can't do that. We need the bottom to be fairly flat. At least for a portion of it. So actually, what if we take this off? We cut, let's say, oh, no. We want to cut 5 off. Then we'll add a section and make it 5. And we'll attach that. And that way we've got a bit more to adjust here. So if we adjust this up, it gives us a bit more of a taper. It's funny because it just does not look long enough on here. But, I mean, dimension-wise, that's kind of what it asks for. But at the same time, it's not going to be exact. What if I do this and make it a bit wider on the bottom? We'll go with 30. Because the flat bottom will make it more stable in the water. There we go. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be exactly the same, but that's okay. We're not going for an exact duplicate. We're just going for similar. Let's narrow down the tail a bit. Shorten it a little. Oh no, we don't want to go down on that end. You know, let's add one more little section. Let's just make it an even number. Oh, I see. Sorry if this is taking a little bit. I'm still trying to figure this all out myself, so I don't know why it's dipping down like that. Probably because of this. There we go, good enough for now. Man, this thing is massive. We're already at 38,000 kilos. Okay, let's get some wings on here so we can kind of get some scale. So, here's your standard wing for scale, just so you know how massive this thing we're making is. Alright, so the wingspan was roughly 60 meters. And we've got about 4 in there. Which would leave me with 56. So about 28 for each wing. So if we go, yep, that's about right. Now, the actual wing area is 360 square meters, which is insane. So we're going to try and go for that. We just need to get close to 360. Now, it did have fairly straight wings, I believe. Man, those are massive. Yeah, something in my scale is not quite right, but you know what? We'll make it work. There we go. Kind of crazy, but whatever. It wasn't exactly a, this. I think one of the main things with this is I need to make it a bit more rounded. There we go. That looks a bit better. Still doesn't look quite wide enough to me, but you know what? It'll be okay. That cutout's kind of weird, but whatever. We just want to try and make it fly at this point. Okay, another thing we need to do before we get too much further is we need to set the buoyancy on all of this. If we don't have the buoyancy set, it will not float. And I'm just going to set it on all of these for now. We can adjust it later as we need to. We'll put fuel, 10. Okay, we're going to have to put fuel tanks in it because 10,000 liters of fuel is going to be way too much. Man, that little hump there's bugging me. There, that'll do. All right, now the original had 6 inverted V12 engines. So we'll try and do the same. Nope, wrong one. There we go. We'll even invert them. Now let's see if we can actually get it to stick to something here. There we go. Oh, come on. All right. Now, this is going to be the problem, getting enough power out of 6 of these engines to lift this thing. So we're going to do some tweaking here. First, we're going to make them as big as we can. They were V12s. We're going to give them a supercharger. Now, the original engines did not have, they had 1900 horsepower, so about this each for takeoff. Now, we can tune it up for more speed, but we'll leave it on favoring torque because this thing's going to be heavy. And that's close to what the original was. And then we're going to make our props bigger. We'll go about 5 meters, right around there. Make our blades nice and thick. We'll give them a good twist. And they had 3-bladed props, so we'll try that. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll give it a try. And we'll leave the blade control on auto for now. And now we just need 4 more of these, so we'll grab a copy. Try and stick it here. And the 3 engines were all fairly inboard on the plane, so we're going to get them kind of close here. Not too close. And one more. Come on. Oh, there it was. It's very finicky. No, I didn't want to do that. All right, there we go. And we'll get that moved over a bit. And we'll worry about any sort of cowling or anything on them here when we get to actually dressing this out. This plane is probably going to be more than 1 episode. We're already about 20 minutes in, so. All right, let's see. We need to finish our tail off. Just get a cone on there, but in the correct spot. Come on, where are you going to snap? Anywhere? No? You just don't like that shape, I guess. It's probably because of the cut. Okay, well, we'll deal with that later. Alright, let's get our vertical stabilizer on here. Tiny little thing. And then, oh, why are you gray? Like you're not attached. What is going on? Oh, what is going on with that? Why is it not attaching right? Is it just because I had it on? Yeah. Probably because no? So it's just turning gray whenever I, weird, it did not want to attach back there. Maybe because of the cutout on it. I do not know the exact dimensions of the vertical stabilizer. So we're just going to kind of try and go with a big chunky control surface. And then we'll attach our horizontal stabilizers to that. Hopefully they won't have an issue like they did on the okay, didn't want to attach it. Oh, that one I want to do, that's off center. That's not good. There we go. Oh, we'll let it hang off the back a little bit. Okay, now they're attaching right. Cool. And then we will have these on here as well. Give it some big old chunky horizontal stabilizers so it can get some lift on takeoff. There we go. Need to do something about this back. Let's... Whoa. Let's see if we can get rid of this cutout part and just do it differently. Because that cut's just messing with everything. There we go. That looks better. You need to go down a little bit though. Just line this up a little. Well, obviously I have to make some adjustments to get balance and stuff, but I would like to at least give it a test flight this episode. And then worry about decorating it out and getting everything kind of nice and shiny, you know, if that makes sense. All right, there we go. And then we want to make, if we don't make this buoyant, then it's heavy and it'll weigh the plane down. So, all right, let's see how we're looking here. Did we do this one as well? Yes, okay, cool. All right, now, those can probably be moved back a little bit. On the actual other plane itself that this is kind of being inspired by, they do stick out quite a bit. So we'll adjust them when we get the cowling done for them. Right now we just kind of need a proof of concept. All right, let's see how our centers are. Okay, our center of mass is quite a bit ahead of our center of lift. So let's move our center of lift forward a little bit. Not too much. There we go. I would like some trim tabs, but I'd have to add on to the wings to do that. We'll deal with that later. We just want to fly it for now. We'll perfect it. Well, tune it, I guess, later. Let's see. Well, we don't need it, but it will help a lot if we do have a gyro on here. Not what I meant to do. All right. I can't remember what to set these at. We'll just leave them on default for now and tune them later. We'll just use it to help us keep balance. Okay, what else? What are we at for weight right now? 150,000 kilos. That's too much. The original plane was 90,000. I mean, I don't know how we could really reduce the weight without cutting chunks out of it, obviously. But even if you make it hollow, it doesn't change it. That's okay. Let's get some. I mean, obviously this isn't the exact same shape and size, so what we'll do is we'll put some fuel tanks on here. Because if I try and put fuel in the wings, the minimum amount is way too much. We probably don't need too much. I'll just color these so they're easy to see. Let's see what our mass balance looks like now. All right. Let's find those fuel tanks. And just move those back some. Yeah, they're not even heavy enough to make a difference. Good. That actually makes things easier. And then it also had some stabilizing pontoons on the sides here. I wonder if I can still use the pylons for this. They're pretty small, but they're good for mounting things too. We can make them bigger. Dang it, stop. There we go. All right. No, I don't want to select that, please. So we're just going to adjust these down so it's a bit narrower. And then just kind of stretch them down some, I suppose. Now we could put little pontoons on the bottom of these for added stability, but the original didn't have it. We'll add them later if we need to. And then we make those buoyant. What happens if we add a bit of trapezium to these? Maybe 10%. Just give them a bit of a taper. Looks really weird, but maybe it'll help stabilize it a bit. All right, what else do we got? Our center has moved a little bit. There we go. Well, shall we see if we can get it to fly? No, we don't want to make a new one. Okay, question is, can we get this to fly? We'll have to spawn it out in the water. I don't think there are actually any points that are in the water. Well, there's the bay. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if it floats. It wants to roll. Because it's too buoyant and it's top heavy. How do we correct that? Well, let's see if we can just add some pontoons to these, I suppose, for now. No, let's go 2. And then we make them buoyant. And let's I was going to make them round, but let's see what it looks like. Yeah, sure, why not? Stick a couple of these on for good measure. Just to make it look a little bit better. We've obviously departed quite a bit from the original, but this is just a proof of concept, I guess, to see if we can make it work. No, not hollow. We want buoyancy. All right, let's... No. I want the bay. Okay, that's actually not too bad. Is there a way to rotate the craft? If I get out... Oh man, that thing is massive. It floats though, that's good. Alright, now if I face this way... There we go. You know, I don't think we're going to get enough power out of these 3 engines to get us enough lift, but we'll give it a try. The original did only have 6 3-blade engines, so... Okay, we're getting some speed. Not a lot. We should get some good lift with these big-ass flat wings, or straight wings. You get good lift and low-speed control with straight wings, so we'll see if we can get this thing up to speed. I mean, obviously the original probably took forever. And the original BV-238, they only really had one of and a couple of prototypes. It was made kind of towards the end of the war. And I believe the one that they did have made ended up being destroyed also. Let's get some flaps here. Well, we're getting some speed. I don't think it's enough to take off yet, but let's... Oh, we can steer though. That's good. The pontoons are helping keep it stable, but we're still gaining speed. Oh, it's starting to bounce a little bit. Let's see what our... The gyroscope might be having trouble with it in the water. Can I get any lift yet? No. I'll try turning the... Come on, baby. Well, the one advantage is that it does get lighter as it uses fuel, so... Well, those pontoons are definitely wobbling a bit. They're hitting the water. That could be slowing me down. I don't think I have them bound to a key to detach them, though. I was wondering if I could detach them while it's going. We are getting a bit more speed, though. Yeah, every time they catch in the water, it creates a bit of drag. So that is definitely a problem. So what if we go in and we just move these up a bit so once we get moving they don't drag in the water so much, but if the plane starts to tilt maybe they'll work a bit. Let's see, what else can we do? We can try and make these so they cut through the water a bit better. Alright, we don't need that right this second. Come on, dude. Where are you at? We need to get pointed away from the land. Alright. Yeah, just as long as those pontoons just keep it from tipping over. Once it gets moving in a level manner, hopefully they won't need to be touching the water so much that they'll start causing drag. I can kind of control once we get some speed going to keep it level. We are going to be getting a lot of drag from the water though. And this one's definitely getting to be a longer episode. I really don't want to cut too much of the building process out, so this one will probably stay long, but from now on I'll try not to make them quite as long. I know not everyone likes longer episodes or has the time to watch them. So right now I'm just trying to keep the plane level so those pontoons don't dig into the water unevenly. We're getting some decent speed. I want to drop my flaps and get a bit more lift, but that'll slow me down as well, so I think I'd like to get some speed first, and then we'll drop the flaps. I don't know how much we're going to need. According to this, the landing speed was 143. Let's go ahead and get some flaps here. Not a ton. See if we can get some lift. Oh, come on, baby. You can do it. We're losing speed. Really wish I had some trim tabs right now. And make this easier. Oh, and we are airborne. It took a while. Oh, we're losing some speed. Let's level out. These engines barely have enough power to get this thing off the ground. Or off the water, as the case may be. But if I try and keep it level, or fairly level, we do slowly gain speed. So eventually we'll get enough speed, but yeah, I'm surprised we were able to do this with just these 3 engines. Because this is a lot of weight to move for those 3 little engines, even though they technically had about the same power. So this is bigger than and much heavier than the one it's kind of based off of. But yeah, we accomplished that. Let's see about landing now. Keep our engines running a little bit just to keep some control. And then we're just going to try and gently set it down in the water. Big old chunky boy. Cut our engines. And she's down, I guess. Cruising pretty quick, but what if I drop the flaps just to... Maybe that'll help me dump speed. Stick the nose down. Well, it doesn't nosedive like it used to, so that's good. Alright, so this was pretty fun. I think we actually accomplished something. We made a boat plane that can take off and land in the water. It's very basic and very ugly right now, but we can improve on that in the future. So if you want to see me keep working on this, let me know down in the comments. If you want to see me build something else, feel free to leave me some ideas. You know, I'm always happy to take a look at things. This is a pretty crazy one. I've never built a boat in this game before, or a plane this large, but we managed to get it in the air and land it, so I think that's pretty good. So that'll be it for this one. Let me know what you want to see in the next episode. Until next time, take care, be safe, and I will see you later.